I'm Andrew Barnhill. I grew up here, about 2 blocks away to be exact. My grandparents lived another block down the road from there. Wilmington is my family's home, and I remember learning in church growing up that there was no greater honor than service to the community right outside your door. People in Wilmington taught me that. The house I live in today once belonged to my great-grandmother. Right here in this house, she taught me about the history of our county and how much it's grown over the decades that she lived here. Through all her stories and my own experience growing up, I couldn't help but form a sense of pride for southeastern North Carolina. It was here that I received my education through our public schools, graduating from New Hanover just like the last 3 generations of my family. It was here that I helped my first client, preached my first sermon, and taught my first class. After college, I spent time crafting healthcare policy at a law firm in Washington, learning about the needs of our veterans by working alongside Congressman McIntyre, and even serving as a trauma chaplain inside a busy emergency room. When I came back home to Wilmington, I quickly saw that my home community just wasn't represented in Raleigh like it used to be. I also saw a legislature more content to tear things down than build things up. Rarely does a day go by when I don't hear from someone who is aching for North Carolina to be the place they once knew. People like my friend Sam, who graduated with me, who learned how to run the lighting for our sound stages at the movie studios, and now had to take his family to Georgia because a small grant program for a few $1,000,000 just doesn't cut it. People like my former teacher, who didn't know until 3 weeks into the school year if she was going to have an assistant helping her with a class of 30 kindergartners. People like my friend Wes, who picked up and moved down to South Carolina because he wanted to work hard and provide for his family. But North Carolina wouldn't even compete to bring the new Volvo plant to our state. I was taught growing up that problem solving was about bringing people together, listening closely, and coming to the table to make things happen. That's the North Carolina way. That's the way I've worked while serving on our county zoning board to envision a pragmatic future. And that's the way I've led with local nonprofits helping Wilmingtonians get off their feet and find work. My grandmother taught me to be a voice for the voiceless. And unless we make a change in our leadership, our voices won't be heard. I'm running for the small business on Oleander, for the teachers at New Hanover, and for the kids playing at Hugh McCray Park. It's time for a new generation of leaders who are bold enough to get up every day and build a better North Carolina. That's why I came back home, and that's why I'm running for North Carolina Senate.